Hercules is arguably the most popular mythological character among writers and artists. In Greek mythology, he is known as Heracles, but his Roman name Hercules is used more frequently. Perhaps the most famous stories about his life are the 12 labors he completed, but there are many other intriguing stories about his life, starting with the way he was conceived. It all started when the god of gods Zeus spotted a pretty girl named Alcmene. Problem was that both Zeus and Alcmene were already married, although that was not something that stopped Zeus from pursuing her. And he also did not care about the fact that Alcmene was actually the granddaughter of Perseus, who was the son of Zeus, making Alcmene the great-granddaughter of Zeus. To get to sleep with Alcmene, he ordered Helios, the god of the sun, to make the sun not rise for 3 days. Zeus disguised himself as Alcmene's husband and impregnated her. And just for some extra drama, later that night the husband of Alcmene returned and also made her pregnant, such that 9 months later Alcmene would give birth to 2 boys from different fathers. Through Zeus she got Hercules, who would take the traits of his mighty father, and through her husband she got Iphicles, who became like his own father. When Hera learned about the birth of Hercules, she decided to make his life a living hell. For starters, when the boys were 8 months old, she put 2 venomous snakes in the crib of the 2 boys. Iphicles panicked and screamed when he discovered the snakes, but Hercules simply grabbed the snakes in each of his hands and strangled them to death. When the nurse came into the room to check on them, she saw Hercules playing with the snakes as if they were toys. Although, as you can see here, art has mostly depicted Hercules as being alone in his crib when confronted with the snakes. See for example this painting from the early 18th century by the Dutch artist Pieter van der Werf. There's also another myth about how Hera already messed with Hercules while he was still in the womb. On the night that Hercules was supposed to be born, Hera asked Zeus to swear an oath that the first grandson of Perseus to be born would become the High King. And as Alcmene was the first granddaughter to be pregnant, chances were that it would be Hercules. Luckily for Hera, there was another granddaughter of Perseus pregnant, though she was a couple of months behind. So she slowed down the birth of Hercules and his brother by forcing the goddess of childbirth, named Eileithyia, to apply a magic trap to keep Hercules and his brother longer in their mom's womb. At the same time, Hera made sure that their future cousin Eurystheus would be born prematurely, such that he would have to become an important king in the Greek world. And he will play a central role in the 12 labors of Hercules, which I will discuss in the next video, as he was the one who ordered Hercules to complete 12 seemingly impossible tasks. And just in case you're interested in genealogy, Eurystheus was the older brother of the illustrious sorceress Medea. The story is even more elaborate, as Hera really wanted to delay the birth of Hercules forever, but she was tricked by a servant of Alcmene. Despite the failure with the snakes, Hera continued to make life difficult for Hercules and his mother, to the point that his mom decided to abandon Hercules in the wild. But destiny had it that the young Hercules was discovered by the goddess Athena, the protector of heroes, who gave him to Hera to raise him. Hera was not aware that this was actually Hercules, the boy she despised so much. And that leads to the next story, which is a moment when Hera was breastfeeding Hercules. And while I would have thought to find many paintings on this subject, I could actually only find 2 of them, the first one being by Peter Paul Rubens from around 1637. While breastfeeding, Hercules suckled so hard on her breast that he hurt Hera. When she pushed the boy away, milk sprayed from her breast into the heavens. And the myth is that these drops of milk created the Milky Way, the galaxy in which we live, and recognizable in the sky by its whitish appearance. After that, Hercules was brought back to his mother to be raised by her and her husband. And this is the second painting on the creation of the Milky Way, which is from around 1575 by Jacopo Tintoretto. And to make matters even worse for Hera, it is suggested that part of the supernatural abilities that Hercules would develop came from the divine milk he suckled from her breasts. Another ironic reference to Hera is that Hercules was not born under that name. At birth, he was named Alcides, but after his period at the breast of Hera, he got the name Hercules, which means pride of Hera. Hercules grew up into a strong young boy. During his youth, there was an incident with his music teacher, the famous musician Linus, the brother of the even more legendary musician Orpheus. When receiving music lessons from Linus, Hercules was not enjoying it at all, and he killed his teacher in a rage. After this incident, Hercules' stepfather sent him to take care of their cattle in the mountains. There, he was visited by two allegorical figures, one representing vice and the other representing virtue. This episode is also known as Hercules at the Crossroads. You can see here a painting by Giovanni de Min with vice on the right and virtue on the left. They offered him a choice. Vice offered him a pleasant and easy life, while virtue offered him a difficult but glorious life. He chose for the difficult life, and that will soon lead to the 12 labors that he had to complete, which will be part of the next episode of this series on Hercules. Well, I hope you enjoyed this overview of the early years of arguably the most popular hero from Greek mythology. As mentioned, there are many more interesting mythological stories about his life, even many more than his 12 labors, but that is where we're going to pick up the story next week. Finally, I love to read your thoughts and comments about the story of Hercules and the artwork shown here. Do you have any favorite, or would you like to learn more about the life of Hercules? Just let me know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you want to get an automatic alert on when the next video in this series is released. Thanks for watching.